Upchurch, probably known for being a co-creator and original artist of Rat Queens. Working on a new title now. Can't really talk about it, it's under wraps, but it'll be out 2018.
Cool. I want to talk about Rat Queens. I love Rat Queens. How did you come up with the concept of Rat Queens?
It was myself and the writer, Curtis Weave. We knew we wanted to work together. We both really admired each other's work, and we knew we wanted to do fantasy. We knew we wanted to do an all-female driven cast, female leads. So it was just a matter of coming up with the story. The original pitch actually wasn't even Rat Queens. It was something different. It was called the Goblinettes.
The Goblinettes.
It was like an all-female goblin punk band.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and then we get into trouble and go on adventures and things like that. But it didn't really fly. Nobody. We pitched it around and people weren't feeling it. So we went back and reworked it and kind of came out Rat Queens from that.
What's your process into creating a whole brand new universe?
I think it starts with. It depends. I think it starts with the story and the characters, and you can really dress any story up with whatever. It can be the same story dressed a million different ways. It could be a love story that goes through this and this and takes it from A to B, but you can dress it as a sci-fi space epic. You can dress it as a fantasy, Tolkien-ish kind of thing. You can dress it as a My Little Pony thing. You can dress it as whatever. I think the story is what's most important. The story comes first, and then you build on top of that. So we kind of knew what we wanted to do as far as characters, so we're just building a world. We knew we wanted to do fantasy, so it was about me coming up with fantasy places I wanted to see or that I would want to live in. So I researched a lot of Venetian architecture. I researched a lot of Turkey and Istanbul, and pulled from there and put it in a mental blender with a lot of the fantasy elements that we all know. You see old dwarven stuff and barbarian and Viking stuff and elvish stuff. So it was pouring all that together and trying to come up with a new way to present it.
Who's your favorite Rat Queen?
That's a crazy question. I like
your personal favorite.
I have different favorites for different reasons. I like Violet's personality. I love the way Kurt writes her. Dee's hair is my favorite thing to draw. It was based on my daughter's hair, so.
Oh, really? That's so.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to draw. Betty overall is the most fun to draw. She's the most animated, like a cartoon. So yeah, that's.
How many cons have you done? Can you take a guess how many cons you've been at?
I've been doing like 2 or 3 roughly a year since around 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I don't do too many.
I know people go to cons 6-10 times a year.
Yeah, I can't do it. It takes too much time.
Yeah.
And I'm when I'm here, it means I'm not working. So I gotta cut the cons down and get to work pretty much.
Who are some of your favorite black superheroes?
Well, Storm, Haruru, she's the reason I love comics.
Really?
My dad took me comic shop when I was real young, but it wasn't until I saw there was this issue of X-Men, and I have it. There were 2 issues, but I have it, and it was Storm was in love. Storm was in love with Forge, and the cover was those two, just those two, white background, those two embraced and kissing, and the inside was her in love and rain pouring down on her as she flew elated through the sky, and it was so much emotion and like passion and story that I didn't realize you could do in a comic book. It wasn't shooting beams out of your eyes. It wasn't just punching people. It was a story. It was emotion. It was love, and that caught me. It was amazing, and it made me from right then, from that moment, I knew I wanted to tell stories with art. I knew I didn't just want to make a piece of art or just draw or paint. I knew I wanted to tell stories that people could feel. I wanted to make people feel. And Storm was the first character that made me feel.
Who was your favorite black villain?
I don't know if I had one in particular. I like the villains like in Luke Cage, like the Hero for Hire villains. I like the street level villains. Mainly because they remind me of like real life people I grew up with. Like those kind of real.
Are you from Philly?
Yeah.
Okay, what part of Philly?
North.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Hunting Park.
Like when I ask people in Philly, they be like, I'm from West Philly or North.
Yeah.
And you be like, okay, you know what you're trying to get in right now.
Yeah. North of the gutter, like the most gutter part of Philly.
How does that shape you into an artist?
I think the same way everything shapes you. I mean, everything is just a compilation of experiences. I mean, I think I am what I am because of where I'm from, because of how I was raised, because of how I grew up. I think my worth ethic is the way it is because of everything back then and fighting to do better than Philly, like to get out of the street, I guess. I think all of it informs everything that I am and everything that I do in my art.
How do you feel when people talk about like people aren't reading comics anymore, or they're not interested in comics because it's so SJW, social justice warrior censored? How do you feel about that when people say that?
I think it's true and it's false. I think it's true for a certain section of people, and I think for other people.
It's okay, you can say white people.
It just depends. I mean, some people are still super into it, and some people aren't. Some people still buy comics, some people don't. And it seems like a lot has risen and grown, and some stuff fell off or lessened. So I think it just depends. It just depends on the audience. It depends on the titles. It depends on the genres. And of course, in every aspect of it, in every area of it, you have people who hate. Like, you have people who just want to tear down anything and everything.
Would you agree that, for the most part, superheroes are social justice warriors?
Yeah, I think that's why they were created. I think that's why people create them. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying, how story comes first. Like, you have these ideas and ideals of social injustice, and you can paint it however you want. And superheroes are a symbol, modern and old, that do that serve as that tool to say what needs to be said and do with the things that people can't do.
What type of superheroes you want to make? Do you find it easier for you to create, film censoring heroes, or do you want to branch out to something else? And why did you pick, making female characters?
I think I'm just drawn to them. I don't know. I've always been drawn to female characters, like Buffy and things like that. Like, I always even when I used to play video, like Street Fighter, I would play with like Chun-Li and like.
My man.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It was just, I've always been. I mean, for one, I think like the female form is the most beautiful thing on the planet. and I always have. Like when I was a kid, I was looking at like Renaissance art and things like that, like books like that, and museums and paintings like that, and so I've always been attracted to that. And then I've always, I don't know, it's something about a story from like where the female is the lead that's just attractive to me, and it's fun to work with. More so than I think dudes are boring. I say that as a dude. Like I think dudes are boring. I don't know.
It's something about like having a woman like be able to be beautiful and kick ass at the same time.
Yeah, it's dope. Like that's just awesome.
Who are some of the people that you read?
That
Artists. Yeah, artists, black artists that you are into.
Brian Stelfreeze is one of my heroes. And he was doing Black Panther, the new Black Panther for a while. But I'll follow that dude forever. I love him. I love his style. I love his I love his knowledge. I love that he can do anything and you can see the knowledge in it. You can see how much he knows behind it. He's definitely one of my favorite dudes.
We interviewed him last year.
Oh yeah?
And we had like a really dope interview, and one thing I appreciate him, he was so unapologetically black about it. Like, yeah, I'm a black man, I'm a black artist, and this is my black ass work, and you're gonna like my work.
Yeah, I love that. I love him. Like, he's amazing.
Who else?
Who else? I don't know. As far as comics, there's not too many people that like blow me away.
What about writers? What other black writers do you like? Who you like their projects, or whether you like their writing style?
Who am I into? Well, I mean, how do you say his name? Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's dope. I love his style. I love his writing style. Whether it be his books or his comics, anything. Like, again, knowledge. I think he's a very intelligent dude, and I appreciate that in work. When it's not just like masturbatory, action-y nonsense. When it's like a drive behind it. When it's intelligent. When it's intelligence driving a story, I like that.
Okay, you know what? We just actually interviewed Coates before you.
That's so crazy.
I just had to go for it. I had to like shoot my shot.
Wow.
And I asked him, because a lot of people, I like Black Panther by Coates. Like I like reading it, but I like reading it as a whole. I don't like reading it issue to issue. I like reading about a value.
Yeah.
And a lot of comic book fans, especially a lot of Black Panther fans, especially. They don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, it says too wordy. And like
that's so sad.
It's too wordy, It's not a lot.
Too wordy.
What do you think about
words?
I like words too.
I read specifically for words. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, for one, I love dialogue. I love anybody who. In comics, I don't care if it's a page full of dialogue. I love it. Like, I want that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm more immersed in the world. I feel like I'm more immersed in the characters and who they are. If it's just like splash page after splash page, that to me is boring. I know it's supposed to be the opposite, but to me it's boring. Mm-hmm. Especially if the art is not up to par, then it's just a waste of a book. But the more words, the better in a book, I feel like. That's kind of sad to hear. I mean, I know there are people who feel that way, but it seems like a waste. I mean, for me, a book, a comic book, a graphic novel, should be a great writer and a great artist coming together to make something great. It shouldn't be one more than the other. I feel like it should be like Shakespeare and Michelangelo, and they come together and make something amazing. And I feel like the perfect mix is one not shining more than the other. And you need words to shine as a writer, so the more the better.
Do you think you're a better writer, or do you think you're a better artist? Even though you sell a lot of art. But are you as equally confident in your writing?
No. I'm definitely more confident in my art, but I feel like it's all storytelling for me. Like it's visual storytelling, written story. It's all just telling a story. So whatever you use to do it is just what you use to do it. I am more confident in my art, but I feel like it's all one thing. It's all delivering a story.
What would you tell to aspiring black comic book artists? How to get into the game, how to get a job, how to get paid for your art?
Just do the work. Like, I think people have a fear of they fear failing, or they fear putting themselves out there and nobody liking it, or nobody picking it up, or nobody caring. But you can't really think about any of that. You think about the work you want to do and you do it. It's really as simple as that, and you do it until people notice. Like, you do it, you put yourself out there, you put your stuff out there until people notice. You keep going. If that's what you want to do, it's what you love to do, so it doesn't matter anyway. You should be doing it anyway. You're just putting it out there, and when somebody takes notice, fine. But even if they don't, this is what you do. This is what you want to do, so just do it. Don't worry about if it becomes popular. Don't worry about if people take notice. If it's what you love, do it.
Have you ever felt like a project you pitched or you worked on was quote unquote too black for whoever you was pitching it to?
I haven't run into that, no. And the project I'm working on now is super black.
What's the name of it? Let us know.
I can't.
Can't tell us?
I can't.
Can you give us like a synopsis of it? Can you give us
I
like...
can't really talk about it all, except to say that, I mean, it is, the main characters are black. There's one Asian, but yeah, it's black.
It's people of color censored.
It's people. Well, they're characters I created, and most likely, if I'm creating a character, I'll create what I know. If it's just me, then I create what I know, and what I know is me and my people. So it would come naturally. What I'm working on now is pulled from a story or stories that I've been writing forever. And it's based on, a lot of it is based on my life, just dressed up as, something crazy. So yeah, it's based on that. I haven't experienced any, this is too black, kind of thing. And hopefully I don't. I know it happens though.
Yeah.
So, me personally, nah.
What is like a dream project for you?
A dream project for me would be to do an animated, like, action adventure / musical.
What kind of music?
It wouldn't really, I mean, whatever music served the story, really. But I'm super into musicals. Like,
musicals?
Yeah.
Like, what's your
yeah.
favorite musical?
Probably Sweeney Todd.
Okay. Mine's is Serafina.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I love music, and to have music with art, or to have music with like stage performance or anything, like, that's just the perfect combination.
Can you play an instrument?
I played the piano most of my life.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're a pianist and an actual
I wouldn't say I'm
fighter.
a pianist. I can play.
You can't read notes.
Yeah.
You're a pianist.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely trained. But yeah, I mean, I used to play piano and sax. But
Do you like jazz?
I love jazz.
Who are some of your favorite jazz musicians?
I mean, of course, greats like Miles and Coltrane and Thelonious. All the hits.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite Philly soul singers? This should be an easy one.
I mean, Boyz II Men, of course. Patty. Like, just all the legends.
Would you like to do like some street art in Philadelphia if you haven't already? Like, would you like to do like a piece or like a mural in your hood?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Like, that was one of my favorite things as a kid. Like, 'cause you go through like the city and you see like huge murals of like legends, any kind of legend from Philly, like musicians and artists and actors. Like, I always wanted to do that. When I was a kid, I drew this because I wanted to do it. My closet doors were like these sliding door things, and I covered them completely with like a Spider-Man piece, just because I wanted to do that. So yeah, definitely, I would love to do that.
What are 3 misconceptions people have of you that you would like to clear up?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what people think about me. I'm not really concerned about what people think about me.
Okay, well, what about 3 things that people don't know about you that you would like them to know?
They don't know. Well, the musical thing is probably one. I don't think
Musicals?
I don't think people realize I'm into musicals.
So like we can like picture you like in Tim's and like a hat outside on the corner in North Philly somewhere singing The Hills or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that was real. Like like it was for me. It was always music and art, and when I grew up, I would go into one of them, and I just chose art. But we used to do like ciphers on the corner. Like, my cousin had a studio in his basement. Like, we would go make tracks and song, like music. And like everybody in my family plays an instrument.
Oh, so you come from a musical background family.
Yeah, and art. Like, my
Anybody
dad is
we
an
know?
artist.
Anybody we know?
Nah, no, nobody ever did anything. And like the whole generation before me, they're all talented. Like my dad, my million uncles and aunts, my grandmothers. But they never, outside of just performing at like local jazz clubs or anything, never like really pursued it as a career. So us, the next generation, we went out and did everything. Like, we took the talents they gave us, and or I guess God put through them to us, and we went out there and tried to make things happen.
Okay, that's really cool. That's something I didn't know. Who was your first, or who was your ongoing? Do you have a mentor, or did you have a mentor?
Nah, I never did.
Do you wish you had one? Would you be open to being someone else's mentor?
I would definitely mentor anybody. But I used to want that. I used to want like someone to like guide me and show me like the ropes, or show me how to do this or that. But I never got that. I had to just figure things out and make a lot of bad choices and decisions.
It's okay. We all make bad choices and decisions.
But I kind of wanted that guidance.
But you are definitely open to being someone's mentor.
Yeah.
How can someone come to you and be like, yo, Roc, can you show me the ropes? Can you teach me how to be a better artist? Can you teach me the game, the business?
I mean, I give people like my email, because I have people that do that now. Like, there are a lot of like artists who come to me for advice or whatever, help with certain things. Like, if I'm knowledgeable about something, why would I not share that knowledge? Mm-hmm. It takes relatively no time to share what you know with people.
Are you like, do you consider yourself a permanent fixture in the Black creative community, or are you one of those see you when I see you, high and by type people?
I don't think I'm a permanent fixture in any place in life. I feel like I'm always floating by everywhere, everything.
Mm-hmm. Has that worked for you?
I don't know if it works. It's just something that is, or it feels like it is. I never feel like I have a. Really cool. I never feel like I belong anywhere.
Really?
I never feel like I have a place.
Is that intentional or happenstance?
It's not intentional at all. I think belonging is a good feeling. Maybe, I don't know. It's not something that I've ever had. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been like a permanent fixture, or I've never felt like I was anyway.
Why are your superheroes black?
Because I am.
That was an easy answer, right? Because I'm black. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think when you hear like other, because I've heard it, and people who know me that I'm very progressively radical. So when I hear black creators saying that they don't want to censor their own blackness, I take it like they on some coon shit. Like just straight up. Like why wouldn't you want to censor on yourself first? How do you feel like when black creators go out of their way to not create anything based on anything black at all? Like they want to go to the opposite end of the spectrum every single chance they get.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's really weird. I feel like you hate yourself. I feel like you have to. Otherwise, why would you not want to create things that are you? I mean, the best things to create are the things that come from you. Anything else is imitation, and that's fine, but pointless, I think. You're trying to be someone else. You're trying to do something that's not you, and it feels fraudulent, and I don't see the point of it. I don't see the point of doing something that doesn't come from you. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. But they out here though.
Yeah. It happens. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you can't really talk about your project, which sounds really, really cool. So, where can people find you online?
I mean,
how can people like find you, stalk you, like you?
I'm rarely on social media anymore. I don't think I've done anything in like over a year, but I'm Johnny Rockwell everywhere.
You where?
Johnny Rockwell.
Johnny Rocky Road? I can't hear you.
Johnny Rockwell.
Oh, okay.
JohnnyRockwell.
Okay.
That's me everywhere.
At Gmail? Or is that your Twitter?
That's everything.
Okay.
It's literally everything.
Okay.
I mean, again, I don't post.
I know that.
But yeah, I'm there.
I'd be like, is he still here?
Yeah.
He's never...
Social media has the internet in general is not really something I'm into.
And that's totally cool.
People on the internet.
It's what?
The people on the internet. It's not.
See, yeah, some of them are trash. I'm saying, yeah, they're trash.
It's like they're toxic waters to swim in. I put it like that.
Are you a gamer?
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda. What do you play?
The last things I played were Injustice and Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm a Sims freak.
Sims?
Yeah. The last issue of My CPUs Are Black, I found this girl who created this whole community called the Black Simmer.
Nice.
And like and what's interesting is like these black girls who don't have any tech background taught themselves how to make custom content for the Sims. So they started uploading like, different outfits and makeup and skin tones, and they created a whole separate game from what the Sims are. And it's like, why can't these girls get jobs? Like,
seriously, that's crazy.
I mean, EA now, will invite them to an event or something like that, but these girls are creating content for gamers, and they have to be. It's hard as a girl to play online because, like, I'm a black girl online playing. I get online and I'm like, oh, you a girl? Either I'm a bitch or a hoe, or
I don't play online at all. That's crazy.
Or they quick to call me a nigger. Like even when my brother's playing, I'm like, did they call you the N-word yet? Like how? It's just really toxic.
No, I can't do that. And that's like 10, 12-year-olds just losing their mind. I can't deal with that at all. Like no, I can't. No.
All right. Well, I wish you could talk more about your project, but I guess we have to follow you on your...
next year I'll be able to talk all about it.
Okay, so you're going to tell us about it, right? Because I love exclusives. I love breaking shit,
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your time. I'll finish stalking you online whenever you post like once a year.
Yeah. Like my yearly post.
Yeah, your yearly post like, hi.
Yeah.
Thank you.